Imagine waking up with a pounding headache, a fever, and a sore throat. You walk to your medicine cabinet, take a pill, drink a glass of water, and within hours you begin to feel better. It's such a normal part of modern life that most people never stop to think about it. But hidden inside that tiny tablet is thousands of years of human survival. In fact, there was a time when getting sick could mean the difference between life and death, and the way our ancestors dealt with disease is one of the most fascinating stories in human history. Long before hospitals, pharmacies, or doctors existed, people were already searching for ways to heal themselves. They had no understanding of bacteria, viruses, or the immune system. Yet somehow they managed to survive in a world where even a simple infection could become deadly. The story begins tens of thousands of years ago. Around 60,000 years ago, a Neanderthal man lived in what is now northern Iraq. Archaeologists later discovered his remains in Shanidar Cave, and what they found was astonishing. The man had suffered from multiple severe injuries. One of his arms was missing, he had significant vision problems, and his body showed signs of chronic pain and disability. Under normal circumstances, a person in that condition would have struggled to gather food, hunt animals, or defend himself. Yet he survived for many years. The only explanation is that the people around him cared for him. They fed him, protected him, and helped him stay alive despite his disabilities. This discovery suggests that healthcare did not begin with modern civilization. It began with compassion. Long before medicine became a science, it was an act of community. Taking care of the sick may have been one of the earliest forms of human cooperation. But kindness alone could not cure every illness. Ancient people also turned to nature. Over thousands of generations, humans learned which plants eased pain, reduced inflammation, or helped fight disease. They did not learn this through laboratories or scientific experiments. They learned through observation, experience, and sometimes tragedy. When a plant helped someone recover, that knowledge was remembered. When a plant proved deadly, that lesson was remembered too. One remarkable example comes from Otzi the Iceman, a naturally preserved mummy discovered in the Alps and dating back more than 5,000 years. When scientists examined the items he carried, they found pieces of birch polypore mushroom attached to a leather cord. At first, researchers were unsure why he had them. Later analysis revealed that these mushrooms contain compounds with antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. Otzi also showed evidence of intestinal parasites, and modern studies suggest the mushrooms he carried may have helped combat those infections. This was not random. It appears that Otzi intentionally carried medicine with him, yet even Otzi was only part of a much older tradition. Researchers studying fossilized dental plaque from Neanderthals in Spain discovered traces of plants known for their medicinal qualities. Some of these plants offered little nutritional value, meaning they were unlikely to have been eaten as food. Instead, they may have been consumed specifically for their healing effects. This suggests that humans and their relatives were using natural remedies at least 50,000 years ago. One of the most famous examples of ancient medicine comes from willow trees. For thousands of years, people chewed willow bark to relieve pain and reduce fever. Ancient Egyptian texts describe its use, and similar practices appeared in multiple cultures around the world. Scientists eventually discovered that willow bark contains salicin, a compound that the body converts into salicylic acid. In the late 19th century, chemists created a more stable version of this substance. The result became one of the most widely used medicines in history: aspirin. Every aspirin tablet represents knowledge accumulated across countless generations, yet ancient medicine did not stop with herbs and plants. In some cases, people attempted procedures that seem shocking, even by modern standards. Archaeologists have discovered ancient skulls with carefully cut holes drilled into them. This procedure, known as trepanation, is considered the oldest known form of surgery. Evidence of trepanation has been found across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Some examples date back more than 7,000 years. What makes these discoveries remarkable is that many of the skulls show clear signs of healing. The patients survived. Researchers believe trepanation may have been used to treat severe headaches, seizures, traumatic injuries, or conditions that ancient people associated with the head. Without modern medical knowledge, they attempted to solve problems using the tools and understanding available to them. Surprisingly, studies suggest that survival rates may have been far higher than most people would expect. These procedures were not random acts. They appear to have been established practices passed down through generations. Behind much of this knowledge stood a special figure within many ancient communities: the healer. Anthropologists studying traditional societies around the world often find individuals whose role combines medicine, spirituality, and community leadership. These healers preserved valuable information about plants, injuries, illnesses, and treatments. They served as living libraries in cultures that had no written records. Their knowledge was passed through stories, observation, and direct teaching. Losing a healer could mean losing generations of accumulated wisdom. Evidence of their importance appears in archaeological discoveries as well. In one ancient burial site dating back roughly 12,000 years, researchers uncovered the grave of a woman buried with unusual objects and animal remains. The burial was far more elaborate than others nearby, leading many experts to conclude that she may have been a respected healer or spiritual leader. Such discoveries reveal how highly these individuals were valued within their communities. Ancient humans also developed an intuitive understanding of the body's natural defenses. Consider fever. Today, many people immediately reach for medicine when their temperature rises. Yet fever is often part of the body's strategy for fighting infection. By raising body temperature, the immune system creates conditions that make it harder for certain pathogens to survive. Studies of traditional hunter-gatherer groups show that people with fevers were often kept warm rather than cooled down. They were placed near fires and wrapped in coverings that allowed the body's natural response to continue. Although these communities lacked scientific explanations, their practices often aligned with biological realities that researchers would only fully understand thousands of years later. Life in the ancient world remained incredibly dangerous. Many children never reached adulthood. Infections, injuries, parasites, and environmental hazards claimed countless lives. Yet, humanity endured. It endured because knowledge accumulated slowly across generations. Every successful remedy, every useful plant, every observation about illness added another piece to a growing collection of survival strategies. The history of medicine is not really the story of famous doctors or modern laboratories. It is the story of ordinary people paying attention. It is the story of communities remembering what worked and sharing that knowledge with those who came after them. The next time you take a painkiller or swallow a tablet for a fever, consider how far that moment stretches into the past. Somewhere thousands of years ago, another human was experimenting with a plant, testing a remedy, or caring for a sick family member. They had no idea they were helping build the foundation of modern medicine. Yet through countless small discoveries, passed from one generation to the next, they created a legacy that still protects us today. Medicine was not invented overnight. It evolved through memory, experience, and survival. Modern science has transformed it into something far more precise and powerful. But at its core, the goal remains exactly the same as it was tens of thousands of years ago: helping human beings live long enough to see another day.